Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about volume of prisms. The three different types of prisms we will be talking about is a cube, rectangular prism, and a triangular prism. For a rectangular prism and a triangular prism, the base shape is in the name. So a rectangular prism has a base shape as a rectangle, and for a triangular prism, the base shape is a triangle. The cube is the exception because all its sides are made up of squares. Now let's take a look at our formula chart. On our formula chart, we have here highlighted the volume formula for a prism. The volume formula for a prism is V equals area of the base times the height. Big B or capital B is not shown on your formula chart, so you have to memorize it. Big B represents the area of the base. Let's now look at the steps to solve for volume. The first step is to determine whether the shape is a prism or a pyramid. Second step, go to the formula chart to identify the correct formula to use. Now, since we're going to be talking about prisms, we're going to be using the formula V equals area of the base times height, which is what we previously saw on our formula chart. Step 3 is to identify the base shape. Step 4 is to solve for the area of the base, big B. And step 5 is to substitute the product in the volume formula. And there you have it, you've solved for volume. So let's go ahead and put this into action by solving for our three problems that we have. The first problem that we're going to be doing is dealing with a cube. So it says, a model of a cube is shown below. What is the volume of the prism? First, we got to identify the important terms. Volume and cube. Since I know it's a cube, I know that the cube has two bases and the base shape is a square. I'm given that the height of the cube is 5 centimeters, and I know that that's the height because the height is always in between two of the bases. Since it's a square, this one is 5, this one is also 5, and so is this one. Now let's go ahead and go to our formula. V equals area of the base times the height. First step is solve for the area of the base. So I'm going to take out the base shape, which is a square, and label the dimensions. The area formula for a square is base times height. And let's solve. This represents the area of the base, which is also big B. So now I'm going to go back to my volume formula and substitute the value for big B in. Now that we've finished multiplying, the answer for the volume is going to be 125 centimeters cubed. Remember that whenever you're dealing with volume, your units have to be cubed because it's a 3D shape, three-dimensional. Let's go ahead and go to our next example. The next example says, the dimensions of a cereal box in the shape of a rectangular prism is shown below. What is the volume of the cereal box in cubic centimeters? The important terms here are going to be rectangular prism and volume. We know that for a rectangular prism, it has two bases and the base shape is a rectangle, so we're going to write that down. The formula for this prism is going to be V equals area of the base times the height. So let's solve for the area of the base. I'm going to take out the rectangle, and the area of a rectangle is base times height. The area is 30 centimeters squared, which also represents big B in our volume formula. So let's go ahead and substitute that value in. Now our height, like I said, is going to be in between the two bases. So our height here will be 6. After we've multiplied, we get 180 centimeters cubed for the volume of this rectangular prism. Now we're going to head to our last example. It says, the dimensions of a triangular prism is shown below. What is the volume of the triangular prism in cubic inches? Our important terms here are going to be triangular prism and volume. So now that we know that's a triangular prism, we do know that the base shape is going to be a triangle and it has two bases. The volume formula is going to be V equals area of the base times the height. So let's solve for the area of the base now. The area formula for a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height, which is given to you on your formula chart. But I'm going to be using area equals base times height divided by 2. Now both of these formulas are the same thing, except for one you are multiplying by 1/2, and for the other you're going to be dividing by 2. I'm going to go ahead and use the one where you're dividing it by 2. So now if you also see you have a base times height. We have too many dimensions here, so we need to go ahead and take out 1. The height and the base are perpendicular to each other, therefore the 5 inches is not necessary. It's not needed here. So we're going to use those dimensions to solve. 5 inches squared is going to be the area of the base, which represents big B in our volume formula. So let's go ahead and substitute that value in. Remember that the height is in between both the bases, so our height is going to be 9. The volume for this triangular prism is going to be 45 inches cubed. And there you have it. We solved for all 3 types of different prisms. So just remember the steps that you have to follow. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.